Hi everyone! I have been racking my brain to come up with ideas for creating Christmas themed jewelry. I love Christmas. And this morning I've been tinkering with some wire. And here I have managed to turn it into a somewhat candy cane shaped twisted silver wire. I don't know where is this gonna go, but I'm going to keep on working in this and see how it turns out. Only this time I'm going to record it for you to see. So without further ado, let's continue. In order to make the other pair, I need to cut a 6 centimeter of 20 gauge sterling silver wire. And I am marking right in the middle of the wire just at 3 centimeter at length. Right now, I need to determine which direction I should twist my wire. If you see this first one of the twist is the left side twisted above, more like a clockwise twist. So on this second one, I will do it counterclockwise. Let's fold the wire in two with a help of a pair of round nose pliers. Make it as narrow as possible, and I'm pulling both ends slowly. And eventually using flat nose pliers to flatten the loop. I'm going to make a final direction check. This time I will twist the wire counterclockwise, meaning from right to the left. In order to hold this tiny bit of loop, I'm using the bench vise. And this time I'm not protecting the wire. If you'd like to see how I protect the wire from scratch, you can check out my other video where I made a pair of wreath earrings using the same technique. I'll add the link on the screen. I'll continue on, being careful not to twist too quickly. If you notice that this video is 2 times faster, so this is why it looks fast. I take my time with it, and occasionally I am adjusting it with the flat nose pliers. The end is the most challenging part. I try to twist it as much as possible until I cannot twist anymore. Next, I'm removing the wire from the bench vise to check the twist. It looks fairly even, but I still need to strengthening it with parallel pliers. Right now, I'm taking the edge that has been folded and make a curve using a pair of 3-steps pliers. This looks good. I'm always comparing while I'm working on the other pair to make sure that the size and the shape are identical. Moving on to the soldering the twist together, this can be tricky because you need to put the little strip of solders one by one in between the twist. I'm going to show you two methods and you can see which one do you prefer. First, I will place the solder bits on top of the twist, keeping them maybe about 2 millimeter apart. So that's around 5 bits in total, for example. And then I will fire up the torch. I need to be cautious as the airflow from the torch can easily move the solder bits. Moving on to the second method is when I heat up the piece and the solder separately and apply it one by one with the help of titanium pick. The advantage here is you don't have to worry about the solder bits shifting since you can control them with the pick. However, you still need to work quickly and accurately. And to be honest with you, this is what I find challenging at the beginning of the soldering practice. And me personally, I prefer the first one, but if you know how to move fast and accurately, the second one is probably the most efficient. Alright, this is the second method and it's almost finished. I have shown you these two methods of soldering, and right now I want to know which one do you prefer? Feel free to leave your thought in the comment below. Remember to always pickle after the soldering to clean up the fire stains. For you who wants to know what is my recipe, guys, it's just warm water and citric acid. That's it. There's no other ingredients. After it is pickled, I'm taking off the leftover of the untwisted wire that look rather like a fishtail using wire cutters. This end can be smoothened later with a file. I'm making a general adjustment as well. What I want to show you is this. When I place the candy canes back to back, you will see that the pattern reflects a mirror image of the other. This is the result of how we twist the wire at the beginning of the video, where one is twisted clockwise while the other is twisted counterclockwise. This is what I'm aiming to have for. Moving on to the next step. In order to enhance the texture, I'm going to hammer the piece flat. Not too flat because you will lose the twist pattern, but just enough to give it a painted appearance. You will see what I mean later at the end. So this is the result after hammering. You can see the twist like as if it's a painted picture in a two-dimensional. Now back to the soldering block. This time we are going to solder the stud. The length of the stud is 1 centimeter from 20 gauge wire. It's already been flattened on one side, so it will be soldered nicely flat against the candy cane. And as to where the stud will be soldered, I'm just taking a quick decision to do it right in the middle of the long side of the cane. So this is my setup. I'm using a cross-lock tweezer used to hold the stud, and I'm weighing down the cross-lock tweezer for the stability purposes, and I'm heating up the solder, you guys, slowly, and I will apply it later in between the stud and the cane. Very slowly.
Oh no. Oh crap.
This is a painful thing to watch, but guys, accident happens. The curve of the cane has been burned. I need to start over again for this piece. It's alright, I will do the other piece first and then go back to do the other one. This time I learned my lesson. I'm placing the curve away from the fire. Using the same method, I'm heating up the piece first and then the solder bit. I melt the solder, pick it up, and apply it with the help of a pick. Slowly, always very slowly. This time I'm taking extra attention. Okay, done! At least this one is alright. Alright, let's make the second one. Propping the stud, file the edge flat, and I'm going to apply a lot of flux. I cannot fail again this time. The same ritual as before. I'm setting up the stud perpendicularly against the cane For the position, the stud is going to be soldered right in the middle of the cane. I'm heating up the solder and apply the ball after so slowly. Can you tell that I handle this with extra care? I move the fire away more often than ever. And honestly, the small piece is so fragile and super easily to get burned. And in the winter, it takes longer to heat up anything because of the weather, I guess. Okay, once it's done, I quench it with water. And I don't know why that the soldering block is quite sticky when it's heated. If anybody knows why, you are welcome to let me know on the comment below. Okay, soldering work is done. I am back on the bench again to check out the shape and the position of the stud. It's very satisfying for me. It's all good. The hardship is behind us. Now let's have fun. I invite you to take 200 or 300 grit sandpaper and sand just the top part of the candy cane stud, just to take off the jagged edges, but not all sides, okay? Just the top part. Then move on to the 600 grit sandpaper. Once it's done, move on to the 800 grit sandpaper. You will see slowly that the surface on the top part will start to smoothen. You don't need to go all the way down, just stop at 800 grit sandpaper, okay? Trust me on this. Fast forward, and here I have a half cup of warm water. Well, I will soak my earrings along with this liver of sulfur solution. Just add a few drops, and you will see the earrings will gradually turn black. Give it a little stir and wait for a couple of minutes. Yes, it has quite a smell. Trust me, nobody's passing any gas here. This liquid release an odor that's about 10 times worse than that of a boiled egg. Okay, after 10 minutes, I'm going to take it out. It's all black, which is, I think it's the prettiest color for silver. Unfortunately, this effect will not last. The oxidation will revert back to silver, especially for items like necklace or bracelets. It will rub against the skins the most. Unless they're coated with some kind of wax, the black will gradually turn back to silver. Okay, I am putting it back to the fee slot bench and continue with the smoother grit sandpaper, which is 1000, and move on to 1500. Here, I jump straight to the 2500 grit. It's basically just taking off the oxidized effect. After that, I'm moving on to the 3000 grit, which is the smoothest. It's important to be detailed oriented and patiently sand the silver, even if the change is not visible right away, but you will be surprised at the end. For the second pair, I changed a strategy. From the oxidation process, I continue sanding it with 1200 grit sandpaper, which is a coarser than the 2500 grit. This takes faster to take off the oxidation. And once I know that the surface has been sanded down and turned silver, I move on to the 3000 grit sandpaper. Okay, this piece is now complete. If you take a closer look, you can see how the shiny silver contrasts beautifully with the black oxidized area. This combination creates a unique texture that adds depth and visual interest to the piece. Let's try it on. How would you want to wear it? There's two options here. There's the cane facing the inside or the cane facing the outside of the face. It's your call. Let me know in the comment below which one do you prefer.
To be honest with you, I'm very happy with the result, regardless of the accident. I just realized that, when you are making a stud earrings like as small as this, if you're not careful with the fire, yes, it can get burned, like what happened earlier. If it happens to you, don't be discouraged. You can redo it and always improve the scale. This is not an ultimate how to do to make stud earrings. It's just my way of sharing my skill, and hopefully that you will be able to learn something from it. I have my daughter here with me. She's doing her homework. I have showed her the earrings earlier and she really liked it too. And she was asking me if I should lend her for her to be wearing it on the Christmas party. What do you think? Of course, I will say yes. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you learned something from this. And I'm so glad that I'll be able to record everything and then show it to you. Once again, please click like and subscribe if you have not done so, and turn on the notification bell. And I'll see you next time. Happy crafting and goodbye.